I'm Mint Salad, and I saw Us. It is directed by Jordan Peele. Man, I just saw a bunch of people kind of hate on this movie. They're like, I don't even get the ending at all. I don't get it. It's like, you weren't paying enough attention. Like, there's a lot more hidden things than meets the eye. And let me get into this very spoilery review of Us. Alright, so, beginning. It follows a little girl at, like, what is it called? A beachfront? They get the boardwalk beachfront, and there's a bunch of carnivals there, and it's following this little girl. She's walking around, and these two adults are kind of like, they're not really supervising her. One of them goes to the bathroom. It's like, okay, husband, can you really just please keep an eye on her? And of course, he's like, no. So, she walks away. She walks into a mirror house, but only because it starts pouring down rain. And it's like, oh boy, what's gonna happen in this mirror house? And the shots where she's in the mirror house is honestly pretty great because no camera is visible. So it's like, well, how can you shoot in a mirror house? Was this CGI? And if so, it was great. Honestly, great shot. But there's like something really creepy within that house. And it causes her like not to speak. And throughout like the rest of the film, we kind of see more and more of what like happened in that house. Like for the first part, it's just showing that like she's in a house full of mirrors and she's looking at herself turned around. Meaning it's not a reflection. That is creepy. And I'm like, oh no, what is gonna happen? Alright, let's go resume to the future. She's got a husband who's wearing a Howard shirt. I'm gonna call him Howard because it's like a knockoff like Harvard shirt, but I just love the Howard so much. It's like, oh man, your name should just be Howard. So yeah, his name's gonna be Howard. And then you got the two kids, and they're on a vacation. She's going to the beach. Mom's like, no, I don't want to go to that beach. And of course, Howard, he's like, no, it feels kind of sad that our children won't be able to go to the beachfront, do beach things, and effectively guilt trips her. And I say effective because they do go to the beach. And oh boy, what a surprise. They go to the beach, still same place as theirs, so fun mirror house, even like from like 23 years later. I don't know how old she is, but she's looking over there like, ooh, I hope nothing comes out of there. That would suck. And on the way to the house, on the way to the beach house, there's a Jeremiah 111 guy who she passes as a little girl. And while she's driving, she sees the same Jeremiah 111 guy in an ambulance. And I'm like, oh, that's that same guy. Oh no, he's like stayed around the same area for like 15 years. This is crazy, but alas, it's like, ooh, this is kind of fishy. That's crazy. But it's just chalked up to like one incident. It's just one random homeless guy getting stabbed. Not a lot of people really care about that, but she really does care about her son, and her son going off in the bathroom alone. And when he gets back to the bathroom, he sees a guy in a trench coat, and he's got like blood on his fingers. And it's like, oh no, what happened to you, guy? Seeing that, I was like, what? What? How is he, why? Why is he bloody already? So, of course, Mom, she's like, yo, son, you cannot just do that. Please, tell me where you're going. Please. And I'm like, I'm a little bit more panicked zone. But then they go home. Ah, how fun. How fun the home is. Where everything's all nice and safe and hunky-dory. And oop, there's a bunch of clones. In red, with knives. They've appeared. And it's like, oh no. This is horrifying. You got a clone. She can barely speak. She's like, got like, some sort of like damaged vocal cords or whatever. She's like, oh, I can't speak, this is how I'm gonna speak. Kind of like that. But you know, a little bit more vocal trained because, you know, it's an actress doing it. I also love how they also established that they got a nice little rich friend. They got a friend with a McMansion. Or take out the Mick and just leave the mansion. It's a really cool house, honestly. It's pretty rad. But, so, you get a bunch of these hooligans running around, and I say hooligans because they're chasing them. They're going to murder each other. The whole, afraid of the dark. Yeah, afraid of the dark is very accurate because, her son is very like, oh, I can't just be in the closet alone without a light, even though he put himself in a situation where he's in a closet, in a dark closet. But I digress. Oh man, you know what's super fun? He figures out that he can control what the red version of him does. And it's pretty great. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help him take off my mask while I take off my mask. And he has to take off his mask the same. And it's like, oh, this kid is freaking smart. What a really smart kid. But then there's like a whole lot of chasing, man, a lot of chasing involving dad. The dad gets kidnapped. And I'm like, aw, this is a little bit sad. But he gets on a boat, and then I'm a little bit less sad, because it's like, oh, this is kind of dumb. Why would the doppelganger put him on a boat, tied up, like, with a plastic bag around his head? How is he able to breathe in that? Howard, though, he's got a brain. He is educated. That's the brain part of him. And he has like a bad boat that the motor kind of kicks, and so the Red Howard is what I'm gonna name him. Red Howard. He's kind of like pounding against the hole, bam, and then as soon as like he bams the motor, then Smart Howard rips open the bag, bam, rip, bam, rip. And he like gets to a point where he is like able to get out of the bag. And because of that, he's able to take control. And it gets to a point where they are fighting for control. Because even though Red Howard is very dumb, he seems to be evenly matched or a little bit stronger than Smart Howard. But, you know what Smart Howard has? He uses his head, bam, to hit his hand, let him lose control, and his legs go spaghetti. Spaghetti legs, and it's, oh, gross, it's so gruesome. Oh man, when I was like looking at like Howard in the water, and you got Red Howard driving the boat like towards him, and I'm like, please don't run over him with the motor, please don't do that, because it's like, that's like the most terrifying thing if you've ever been on a boat is that you don't want to go near the motor because you're afraid it's going to chop your legs off. And this is a very prime example of what happens if you don't be careful around boat motors. Well, anyway, there's something super fun. Super fun. There's a whole lot of being chased around. There's a whole lot of being... I wouldn't say, like... They don't really kill each other's versions of each other, really. Not yet, anyway. Howard's like the first blood. But he gets the boat. Come on, boat. Boating around. Come on, crew. We're going to be on a boat, and we're going to go to my friend's house. And in my friend's house, let's go over to their nice house. You got a lazy husband and a really mean wife, and they're bickering. Can you do this thing? I'm busy. Holding a glass of whiskey. I'm busy. It's like, no, you're not. You're literally not. You're not doing anything important. And then, like, the daughters come out, and it's like, ooh, they're having a nice bickering time, then BAM! Super sudden. The red versions of them come up and just, like, stab them with the gold scissors. Pow! Yeah, all of them are dead. All gone. Then you got, lovely, she is just, the lovely wife. She's crawling towards this rich husband and is like, oh, I want to die with you. Even though I hated you, I still love you. Oh, I'm gonna die, and then dies. Uh-oh. That wasn't a very non-painless way to die. That seems like a horrible way to die, but I digress. Get it? Digress? Haha, got him. Anyway, so, now, you also see, they come, so the wife, Howard, and the daughter and the beautiful son, who's very smart. He's very smart. I wonder where he got it from. Probably his dad. And so, I just love it. They go to his house. Then they notice the red shirts versions of each other, and they go to quickly just get rid of them. Aw, man, the teenage daughter, she's like wielding like a golf club, and it's just like starts beating them. Then you got, oh man, the mother. Ah, yes, the mother, the wife of Howard, rather. She's tied up, handicapped. Not handicapped, she's handcuffed. Oh, those are two different words. She's handcuffed. That's cool. She's like, what do you want from me? Not anything like, who are you? No, it's just like, what do you want from me? Which is like, oh, does she know who this person is? I don't know. But it does get to a point where she gets injured. Oh man, she's gravely injured. Isn't that just great? By they, I mean like all of them. All of the doppelgangers of the rich family die either by being pushed over a balcony or being beaten to death by a golf club or even a geode. One of them has even got, oh no, handcuffed mother, no! And then pretty much gets bonked in the head. Okay, cool. They leave. They're being chased by their doppelgangers now. But they gotta go inside to find the keys. By the mother goes inside. She realizes that one of the doppelgangers of the daughter is now missing. And when she goes to run, she gets attacked. And it's a big old struggle. It's like, no! Whatever shall happen. One-on-one combat. Let's go PvP. Who will win in this fighting match? Who will absolutely be the victor? We don't get to determine that because the son comes up. He's just like, okay, I love seeing him from being like kind of scared to hit someone to being like, alright, masks up, I just got my geode, here I am just to like hit. And he's about to hit her when the mother stabs, go full on, or sorry, just one really big stab, and the son watches, and it's like, oh cool, how's that? That's pretty great. But you know what's also awesome? She's still handcuffed. They leave. They steal the rich guy's big old car. What a nice car. It's like one of those like Kia Souls, like one of those like really boxy cars. And it's like, oh man, this is really funny. I like the box shape. But you got the whole argument, oh daughter, no, you can't drive. You're handcuffed, mom, what are you doing? And Howard has leg issues? He's got a limp now. What are you doing? But they go and drive. But guess who's there? It's the daughter's doppelganger. One-on-one, let's go. Go vroom. Back up, back up, back up. Nope, no moan backing up here. Let me hit pedal to the metal. That's my foot. That should be my right foot, but it's my left foot, but it's my right foot. And I go, vroom. She stays on the car. How terrifying. It's like, oh, she didn't go stay. She instead, she can just like shatter her scissors into the moonroof and then the windshield. It's like, no, this is terrifying. Alright, let's do some physics, alright? Let's go. Let's brake. Let's go super fast, then brake suddenly, and then she flies. She's like, woo, sure she goes. She gets stuck on a tree. The mom goes to investigate, and then she's dying. Then she dies peacefully. It's like, yeah, let's go. That was pretty awesome. But, you know, it's also fun. Oh boy, they're going into the city. They're going into the city where the boardwalk is, and they see a line of people just holding their hands together. It's the holding the hands across America dealio from like '84. And I was like, oh boy, this is very terrifying. They go, they park, and then they go to the beach. She's on the beach. What is she doing on the beach? She's looking at all the hands across America. Starting from, well, they're in Santa Cruz. So, it does start there. Santa Cruz, the ocean of Santa Cruz. When I first saw it, I was like, are they like going in the ocean? And then I realized, oh wait, that's the Pacific Ocean. That's the really far one. That's the one that actually only part of California owns, not part of California owns the Pacific Ocean, or at least the coast of the Pacific Ocean. So, would the hands across America extend to the property line of which California owns, which is like 15 miles out, I think? It's a number. Would it extend that far, or would it just go to the coast? Because that technically isn't hands against hands across America, if it's not including that little bit. But I digress. Oh boy, you know what's super fun? While all of this fun stuff is happening, there's a car, and it's burning, and the really feral son, he's the red doppelganger, he's super feral, and it's like, alright, we're gonna have a showdown. I got my scissors. I got my geode. But there's no need for that. Instead, the son's like, alright, I know what to do. I'm gonna start walking backwards into the fire. You got a bunch of gasoline underneath the car where they're parked. And it's about to go kablowie. But because the son's like, yo, I actually know this thing. I can control him. I'm going to go walk behind. And then I get kidnapped by the doppelganger. So her mom has to go to the mirror house where she knows for a fact this is where she was at. She knows. She's like, alright, I finally have to confront. But, you know, it's all so good. They go on the ground. There's a bunch of rabbits everywhere. There's a room full of rabbit cages, which is from the first, like, scene, or, like, the first picture during the credits is just, like, a slow, oh, I'm showing a bunch of rabbits. What are these rabbits for? So, very fun. Bunch of rabbits. It honestly reminds me of just like an endless mirror room. It's kind of terrifying, but go into the room with all the cages. Guess who's there? It's the doppelganger. Doppelganger. She's like, hey, I've been wanting to meet you all my life. I've been stuck down here, 5 ever. Oh boy. Then we get some more, like, flashback where you see her smiling. It's crazy. She's dancing. Oh man, there's also a flashback to where she was like, oh, you and I are, like, this different from other people, but we're also the same from each other. First of all, I just keep on walking, just past all these people, just doing random circles. Basically mimicking what I'm doing here is what you're doing up there. Just a little bit. Just like in tandem though. And the whole, it's a shadow thing. These people in red are the shadows of the people walking on the surface. And basically whatever they have to do, like a C-section, for example, because she had, like, her youngest as a C-section. The shadow had to go through that, like, as a live birth. And it's like, oh, this is very, very terrifying. I'm sorry for your fate. I'm sorry I didn't know you existed, and I'm sorry that, you know, this sucks. And a little bit more on the didn't know you existed part. That'll be a little bit later, because there's a whole twist. Alright, and then there's whole battle. She's like, I want your family. I want your family. They have to, like, fight it out. And the doppelganger does get stabbed a few times and then dies. Oh, that was crazy. How did that work? Oh no, whatever shall happen. No, what? Crazy how that happens. But anyway, all of them are gone. All the doppelgangers that they've defeated their doppelgangers. And it's like, oh, some people, they weren't able to defeat their doppelgangers. Would I be able to defeat my doppelganger? I mean, why would my doppelganger want to kill me? That's the real question. What did I do to this doppelganger? I'm sorry, doppelganger, that I didn't touch your hair more. I'm sorry, I didn't know that he existed. Do you want to be friends, doppelganger? And honestly, I hope the doppelganger says yes, because that would be cool. I would like to have me as a best friend. That would be pretty rad. We would do things such as taking the scissors that she has and selling them. Or taking the scissors that she has and actually using them. For not murderous purposes, but for, like, around the house stuff. Like cutting a bunch of green screens. I need scissors for that. Or cutting paper. Cut all the paper in the world. And then we can play an endless game of rock, paper, scissors. And I'll never get to choose rock because I really like the scissors that she's holding. And then, oh boy, you know what's also super fun? They go into, like, this RV kind of dealio, and they drive off. And here's a little bit of backstory of actually what happened. So, she goes down. She's also explaining all this. She goes down. Then she's like, Oh no, I'm being choked. Ah. And then their bodies replace. But not before she ties her up, kind of like dragging her. Oh, I'm dragging her. Ooh, and then like ties her up and then goes to the surface. So that means the version of the doppelganger is the version with the family on the surface. And then you have the real person is crawling her way up. So this, like, I saw it as, like, a way of nature versus nurture, because, like, you can't replicate a soul. This is already established in the movie, but you have a doppelganger who has no soul having children with souls, and is, like, learning how to be, like, a person, learning how, like, the language and everything. That's why everyone's like, oh, what happened to her? She can't even speak now. It's like she didn't know the language. She was just learning how to speak, just by proxy. And now it's just the evil doppelganger has been the mom the entire time. And it's like, oh boy. I feel like the human with the soul is actually soulless, because she stayed in the area where she had no family, no loved ones to take care of or to be taken care of. She had to... She had some understanding of English, which is why she's able to talk. But just the fact that... Man, this is crazy. I was not expecting it to be the doppelganger the entire time. Bam! Wow, that was the spoiler. Big spoiler. And she rides off. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty sweet. I don't understand why people don't understand this ending. They're like, oh, so it's actually the evil one the entire time, and therefore there's no point to this movie. No. It's a nature versus nurture argument. Of course, if you teach yourself how to have a soul, you might as well have a soul. But if you have a soul and you act soulless, you might as well not have a soul at all. That's what I got out of this movie. And so I gotta really praise the cinematography. Man, there's a lot of creative shots. I love Jordan Peele's directing. Not as much as John Carpenter, though, and he says so himself. So don't go be like, oh, Jordan Peele's movies are the best ever, because he doesn't even agree with that. Like, horror movies, rather. Go watch some John Carpenter films. Be more cultured. And so I gotta give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. If you like that content, have more content at patreon.com/ASEPresents. For $3 a month, you get some daily vlogs plus some extended mint salad sauce. Also, $20 a month, get one movie review per 1 month. So go check out patreon.com/ASEPresents. Also, more links to support me are in the link tree down below. Go click it. There's a bunch of cool links. I think you'll like it. It's cool. Go click it. Click. Also, Fansly. I'm answering all fan DMs on Fansly. I like to talk to y'all. Please, I like talking. I want to know what my fans are up to. So hit me up on fansly.com/itsmintsalad. Till next time, I'm Mint Salad Saw. I'll see y'all later in my salad croutons and bacon bits.